So I was always pretty open about like sexuality. So I like to try different things, and I think like I'm still the same person. So when it comes to the sex, I already was pretty open, and it kind of shaped me more into like being able to appreciate like different fantasies of the people.
All right, Katrine. Katrine, where are you from?
So I'm from Europe. This is where I live.
We're not going to be specific about
Nope.
where. Understood. You are a madam?
A manager of a brothel.
A manager of
I
a
know
brothel.
that you Americans, you call it madam, but like I call myself manager.
And tell me, in the country you're from, this is legal.
Yeah. Otherwise I would be in jail, so.
And tell me what, just describe your job. What are you doing exactly?
So it's variety of the things. So we as a company, we have like a normal organizational structure. So we have different divisions. We have bartenders, we have our cleaning ladies, we have our technicians, we have IT department, marketing department, HR department, and then there are the managers. So it's 6 of us, and I'm like one of the 2 main managers. So above me, there is only the owners of the club. So we basically oversee like the whole divisions, and we also work with the girls. So that means that when there is a new girl coming in, we need to make the interview with her. And when I say like the interview, it's not like there is a hiring process, like we are selecting them. It's more like I introduce her to the club, like I show her around and I explain her the rules. And if she thinks that she wants to work with us, then like I basically go through all the documents with her. I need to check it. And then we have like this onboarding process that we do with them. So it's like 9 days long onboarding process. So we also oversee this. And the main part of the job is basically to be there for the girls. So if they need something, we are there for them. And it can be anything. It can be like work-related problems, personal problems. A lot of them, they are from foreign countries. So like they don't know like how to get around the country. So like they don't know like where to go to the hospital, like when they need anything with the tax offices. So we are also there for them. And like if you would see me working, like that means that I'm just talking with people. So like I would say like 50% of this, it's like chit chat, like very non-heavy topic. And then like the rest, I'm just like there if they need anything, if they need any support, I'm there for them. But like if they don't want to speak with me at all, like we are also fine. So like we don't push like nobody to speak with us like when they don't want to, because the girls, they are independent contractors. So they set their own prices, they set their own services, because like not everyone who works with us, they don't need to do the full service. So if she wants to work with us and she decides like I want to do just, I don't know, like tantric massages or just like a striptease, we have actually one girl and she does squirting. So that's her main service. And so if they want to do like the non-full service, like it's okay for us as well. And then like to get back to your question, so we also are the ones who kind of set the direction of the club. So we set the rules. We are trying to see like we like basically like manage the whole thing. So that's what I do.
How many girls are working at your club?
Well, so when we are fully booked, that means it's around 100.
100 girls?
Yeah. So, and we are fully booked for another 3 months. Like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we are fully booked. So it's a lot of women, but like I've been there for 9 years and I've seen like thousands of women.
Wow. And these are, I'm assuming, a lot of married men.
Oh yeah. A lot of married girls do this as well.
Really?
Yeah. And sometimes their husbands, like they have no idea.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. We have a few women that are married and like their husbands, they have no idea that they are sex workers. And like for them, they don't do this like to earn a lot of money. But for them, this is mostly like adventure. So it's something like very secret, like they have this whole personality that changes when they are in a work, and it's like a huge part of their lives and like secret lives.
Soft-White Underbelly is about giving people a space to tell their stories, even when these stories challenge what we think we know. Ground News shows us different perspectives in the media, which is why Ground News is a perfect sponsor for my channel. In a world where algorithms censor much of the information we receive, some of the most important stories get missed from our news feeds. Ground News highlights local news from around the world, giving you an on-the-ground perspective that national coverage might miss. The app and website empowers you to form your own opinions by presenting you with every article published on any news story worldwide. My favorite part of the app is the data it gives you on each news source as you read it, such as where it leans on the political spectrum, a factuality rating indicating how subjective their printed reporting tends to be, and who funds it. I particularly like their blind spot feed, dedicated to showing you news stories that are underrepresented in the mainstream media. You can check this all out by scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link below. It's easy to forget how much bias can shape the reality we live in. And in a world where our attention is constantly being fought over, my Vantage plan easily helps me keep up with more important stories slipping through the cracks. So I encourage you to check them out at ground.news/SWU. Subscribe through my link or download the mobile app and enter promo code SWU to save 40% off their Vantage plan. And by subscribing or even gifting it to someone you know, you're helping hold the media accountable and helping my channel directly. Thank you for watching.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And their husbands don't know, you think?
Nope.
In some cases.
Yeah, they have like a really good system. So when I started in this work, I was like, so what do you say to them? I mean, it's like, imagine that like your husband or your wife like disappears few times during the week for a night, and you're like, so where are you going? So they usually say to them that they either work at the bar, so like a hotel bar, and so they can't come to visit them, or they babysit for some really rich families.
Interesting. Women are sneaky.
Guys as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. I'm sure you're right.
Well, I mean, like you in America, like you are not so used to sex work, like the legal or like decriminalized sex work, but like for us, it's like a normal part of our lives, because like when you go to the city center, like you can see the brothels. And like while here, because last time when I was here, I visited the brothels in Nevada, and like they are on such a remote location, like
hidden out in the desert.
Exactly, like you are trying to hide sex work and like you pretend that it doesn't exist. Like whereas in Europe, like it's more normalized definitely than in here.
Less shame.
Yeah. I mean, there is still stigma when you are a sex worker. I mean, it's not like you can say this to everyone, but like people will maybe go like, okay. But like it's still, I guess it's still pretty more normalized than in here.
And it's legal, which is really, for an American, it's really hard for us to wrap our heads around that. The age range for women are like young to old?
So, I mean, I've seen everything. So like from 18 years old until like, I think the oldest girl that works with us, she's like 65. And this is basically like, at some point she decided that she will be doing this for the whole life. So this is just her career for the whole life, and she's killing it. She's really good.
I'm sure there are guys that are into that.
Yeah, and it's not just about the age, but like she really developed like really good sales skills. So when you want to be like successful sex worker, like you need to have sales skills, because like the look is not enough. I mean, I've seen like the girls, they were like 10 out of 10, like Victoria's Secret supermodel look, like this type of the girls, but like they couldn't make it because like they didn't have like the sales skills and the empathy for people. So like you need to really
what are the qualities a girl needs to do this kind of work? Can any girl do it?
I think like anybody can do it, but like if you want to be successful, you need to learn a lot of things. And this is something that we also discussed with the girls working with us. So you need to be really good at setting the boundaries. You need to be really good at negotiation. You need to have like really good sales skills, because like once the guy is in the room, like you want to make as much money as you can. So like, but at the same time, like you can't really push him to spend, because like then they don't feel good. So like you need to really like sugarcoat it and like be really empathetic, like what is going on in the room, and like being there with them. And like this is the main difference between like the girls who are making, so the best earning women that works with us, they make like $50,000 a month. So it's quite a lot. But I would say like the average is between like $20,000 a month, which is like pretty okay as well.
How many nights a week do they work?
So the ones that are making the top money, they usually work like 6 days a week. Mm-hmm. And then it depends. So like, as I said, like they are independent contractors. So like we don't set their schedule, we don't set their prices. So they can always refuse the customer. Like if they feel like the wives are just not there, like they can always tell them like, no, like I don't want to work with you, and this is completely okay for us. And like they also like don't work exclusively with us, so like they can work like anywhere else, and they don't have like any set amount of the days when they need to work. So if they want to work with us like once a year, it's completely okay.
A lot of freedom.
Oh yeah, I mean like I believe that like in sex work, like you should have the freedom and autonomy to do whatever you want. Because like this is the reason why I work for this specific club. So I wouldn't feel comfortable telling women what they should do with their bodies and sexuality. So if she wants to make it in like, I don't know, like BDSM type of the way, fine. Like if she wants to do like this type of the service, it's okay. Like if she doesn't feel like working today, like she should have the right to tell, no, like I don't want to go to work. So like this is basically what we do in the club. And like I kind of believe like it should be done like this everywhere. Like, you know, it's still their bodies, and like they should have the right.
Do you think as a society, your country, your attitudes about sex and promiscuity and things like that is healthier than what maybe we have here, where we're very uptight about sex?
I mean, like, I don't know specifically, like, how you view sexuality here, but, like, from what I kind of, like, gathered. So, like, in Europe, we are definitely more open to, like, anything sexual. So it's not, like, such a big deal when you say, like, oh, hey, I went to the swingers party, or, like, I tried this. I mean, we are still, like, uptight, but, like, it's not such a big deal. So like the first time when I was in here, I kind of noticed that like you don't have the beaches or like the places where you can be like topless. Whereas like in Europe, it's like a normal thing. It's like when you sunbath, like you don't want to be having those tan lines. So you just like take your top off, or like you are there naked, and it's completely okay. Whereas like here,
it's a big deal. Like
everyone would probably like lose their mind. And then I kind of read that there are like pools where you can specifically take your top off, and it's like a big deal. It was in Vegas. So there are like, at least there were, okay, it was like 2 years ago. So when I read that there are like pools where you allowed to do this, it's like weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think our attitudes are a little tighter than yours.
Yeah.
The women are happy, it sounds like. They're treated well.
I hope that they are. I mean, this is what I'm trying to do.
With all that freedom. I mean, compared to the stories that we hear here in the U.S. with pimps and all the
but
laws,
like this is what you get when you don't make it legal. So when you make sex work illegal, it doesn't mean that it will go away. Like the girls and the guys, they will just need to hide better. So this is actually like one of the reasons why like I believe that sex work should be illegal, because the people, they will do it anyway. So if you really want to protect them, it's not about like telling them, okay, you can't do this. It's about okay, if you want to do this, like I will make sure that you will have the right to call the police, like you will have the healthcare that you need, you will have like all the resources to do your job like safely. So this is why I kind of hate like when some people, and it's the same with alcohol. I mean, you had the prohibition here.
Yeah.
And like what happened is that like the people, they were drinking probably the same amount or like maybe more, because like now you can see like there is something that it's like, it's not prohibited. So maybe it can be like really good. And then like you want to try it even more. And then like obviously like the guys that were willing to sell like the shitty alcohol, like they were making a profit, but like
the quality control, the safety, things
exactly.
like that.
I mean, you
We're
make
there.
the same safe environment for people to enjoy what they need or like what they want. And like with the sex, it's like it's the only thing that we do, and it's legal. Like we all do it, and like once there are like money involved, like people just can't comprehend it.
Is it somewhat accepted that a man might have evenings at a club like yours while he's married?
What do you mean accepted?
I mean, like, would the wife be okay with this?
Well, it kind of depends. So, like over those 9 years.
Because
So when I started there,
in the
I was
US,
like,
that would probably get you a divorce.
well, probably at some cases as well. I mean, I'm not saying it's like it's widely tolerated, but when I started there and I saw the guys and they were wearing rings, I was like, oh my God, like he's cheating. And so this is like the first thing that kind of comes to your mind, right? But then like over those years, I mean, I've seen like so many like different type of relationships. So like even though he was married, he still loved his wife, but like at some point, like she was like, okay, I don't want to have sex with you, but like I still love you. And like maybe you can do this like anywhere else, or like maybe just like don't say it to me, or and I'm not saying it's the wife's fault. I mean, it's like you shouldn't be pushing yourself to have a sex with somebody if you don't want to. So like some of the guys, they still love their wives, but like the sex is gone. So this is the reason why they come to the brothel. Some of them is just like part of their lifestyle. Like maybe the wife wouldn't be happy about that. With some of them, they don't live in monogamous relationships. So even though they are married, they are in open relationship, or they are swingers, or like this is part of the deal between him and the wife. So this is something that I really learned, like not to judge people, because then you hear the stories and you're like, oh, so you're not an asshole who cheats. There is actually, and then like, okay, there are people who cheats, and it's just it.
But this takes this is like a valve that releases the pressure for a guy who wants to cheat, and he's not going to destroy someone else's life.
A lot of them, they actually view this as a safer option, because like when you have a mistress, you are basically building like another relationship. Like with sex workers, like the guys, they know it's transactional. Like she will not want him to leave the wife, to leave the kids, like to destroy his like life before. So a lot of the guys, they actually view this as like safer option. And when you actually speak with the girls, they're like, yeah, like I would rather have my husband to be going to the sex workers, because like I know that she doesn't want to steal my husband, than like him to having actual affair.
I'd love to know what the divorce rate is in your country compared to the U.S.
I don't know.
I'll look it
But
up.
I think it's like half. I think like half of the marriages are actually ending up divorce. I think so. But maybe
Well, we're close to that
I
too.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it doesn't matter. Humans are just going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I guess like yeah.
How have your attitudes changed? How long have you been doing this?
9 years.
9 years. How have your attitudes changed throughout these 9 years about sex, about fidelity, about things like that?
So I was always pretty open about like sexuality. So I like to try different things, and I think like I'm still the same person. So when it comes to the sex, I already was pretty open, and it kind of shaped me more into like being able to appreciate like different fantasies of the people. So like before that, not that I was like uptight, but like probably some fantasies would be like, this is kind of weird. But like after those 9 years, I mean, I've seen everything, like different role plays, animal plays, age plays, different scenarios, like the things that like you wouldn't even consider like erotic, but like some people, they consider this like super sensual experience.
It's amazing, the imagination and variety.
Oh yeah, exactly. And so this
people
is
get into.
what I kind of appreciate more right now.
Just all the crazy.
It's not crazy. I mean,
Fetishism.
I would say it's creative, and this is what I love about like the brothel and sexuality, because like in society, like the sexuality is usually linked with like a lot of anxiety. Like, am I having the right type of the sex? Am I having like enough sex, or do I have like less sex than I should be having, or like am I too big? Am I too small? And then you have the whole identity around sex. So like you need to come and say, hey, I'm heterosexual, and then like you decide to date a girl, and then you need to go to confess that maybe you are, on the opposite side, and like you still need to like recreate your identity when it comes to sex. So like you can be like readable in front of the others, and you can like understand yourself, or this is what like we are being told. And then you go to the brothel, and like you don't need to confess that you are sexually attractive by like women eating pizza. You don't need to have this special type of identity. And like a lot of the people, they just come to and it's not only guys, okay? Like we have girls coming in as well. And you come to the brothel, and like you can just like enjoy the sexuality in like safe, respectful environment. So this is what I love about like working there, because like the people, they can get like really creative, and like they don't feel that they will be judged for it.
Is there anything for women that is similar?
You mean like a brothels where
Well, I mean,
guys would be working?
It wouldn't make sense, because a woman could probably get a date
Yeah, I mean like
going to the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean like women in general, like they are not used to pay for this kind of service. So usually they just go to the bar and like pick up some random guys.
Right.
But like when you actually think about it, it's much more dangerous. Because like when you go to the bar and you pick up a guy, like you don't know who that guy is. Like he might be a psycho, or like you will have a sex, but like you will not enjoy it. Like the guy will just finish and be like, okay, let's just go home or something. So if you think about it, like there should be more of those services for us girls as well.
Are you married?
No.
No?
No.
Do you believe in love?
Yeah, I do. I do. Because like and this is something that I also like learned, like I can really appreciate the connection between people. And it doesn't mean like monogamous connection. It can be like this really like deep friendship and respect. And it doesn't even need to like involve sex or anything sexual. So yeah, like I definitely believe in love, but it has shaped, and I can definitely appreciate more like people living different lives than like the mainstream one, like the happily ever after. Because like the life is like full of upside down. So like sometimes you have a lot of sex with your partner, and like sometimes you don't have any. Sometimes like you really need emotional support, and like sometimes you just like, this is overwhelming, like I need to focus on myself. And this is like part of relationship and like part of the life. And like before, when I started to work there, like I had this very like linear idea of like relationships and life. Like, you go to high school, then there's a college, then there is a first job, then you get a mortgage, then you meet somebody, then there is the marriage, and then you see your kids growing. And like, yes, like while some people, they have this trajectory, it's like most of us, like we don't. It's like more like tangled. So this is what I kind of learned like working there.
Very interesting. Do the women that are doing this, are they from? I mean, they're educated. They're this is not like a low level job, or is it?
Yeah, well,
Like here in the U.S., it would be kind of like if a girl didn't have a good family or good education, she might end up in sex work. Whereas somebody who went to Harvard usually does not end up at a strip club.
well, actually, like one of my best friends from this industry, she's a lawyer and she speaks 6 languages.
And
She decides to do sex work because it's way much better money, and she was like, I don't want to have a boss. Like, I would rather like work for myself and then like build my own company or like go to the law. But so what I see, it's like very small fraction of the business, and like we are like really privileged place. So like we don't see women coming in to feel their addictions and those kind of stuff. I mean, these type of the things, they are happening. So like I don't want to glamorize like the sex work that it's like everything is great. It's like sometimes the women are entering the business because they need to feel the addiction or like something happened or like, and I'm talking about like voluntary sex work. I'm not talking about human trafficking. And so yeah, so like as I said, like we are kind of privileged place, but like I see a lot of women and they are coming from like really good families, like really wealthy ones. And they still decide to do sex work because sometimes it's not about just the money. So sometimes they just need to, as I said, like some sort of adventure. Some of them, they are like, look, I would do this like anyway. Like I love nightlife, I like to party, I like to have the attention of the guys. So like I do this because it's kind of fun, and like the money are like obviously huge plus. I mean, you can't ignore that. And then like some women and like a lot of the people, they think that like ended up as a sex worker, it's like the last resort. But like this is something that I definitely don't see. So most of them, they know the languages, they had other jobs before, and they have different options in the life. But at some point, like rationally, they decided like, okay, I will do this. I will do this either to support my other businesses, or I will do this like 5 years. So, and then I'm like, I'm financially set up. Like I don't need to do anything else. Some of them, they have this, some sort of like adventure, and also like the motivation. And so for some of them, like the huge part of the job is actually the freedom. So like they don't want to have any job, they don't want to have any boss. They don't want to have like anyone telling them, okay, you need to be here like 9 to 5. You can't take any holidays. You need to be here when I will tell you, and you need to do this and this and this. So for some, like the reason why they still stay in this work, even though like they are already financially set up, they are like, I just got used to this freedom, and like I don't want to work like in any other job.
And I assume they get checkups regularly, you know, make sure there's no diseases, anything like that?
Oh yeah, so they need to take care of this by themselves. Because like some states, they have this like regular health checkups, but mostly the states, they are like, okay, you need to take care of your own health. Like we will have the structure that like you need, but there are like no health checkups that like we as a club would like need to check.
Really? Yeah, I mean, some women just have an appetite for sex, and they like the freedom to have multiple partners, and that's just the way they're wired.
Yeah.
And this job probably works nicely for those women.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of things are you learning? What have you learned about relationships?
I mean, as I said, the relationships are like super colorful, and like even though you see somebody and you see that like he or she is in a relationship, like you can't expect it's the type of relationship that like you imagine. So like you don't know like what is really going on inside like their houses. So I always had this like very, how you call it, like a shortcut thinking. It's like you immediately like jump to the conclusion. It's like you see, okay, they are married. That means that probably they are monogamous, but that might not be the case.
We need to have a more open mind about what a relationship could be.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely, because like I think that like we as a people, like we really like to jump to the conclusions. It's like, okay, so you are married, that's sad, but like you don't know like what type of the marriage it is. So I'm definitely more like receptive to this.
How common? How many clubs are there in your city?
Oh, in my city, around 10.
10?
But across the country, I would say it's like hundreds. I mean, Europe is pretty big, and like since it's legal.
And each club is large, like yours? 100?
No. Like some of them, they are like really small. So not every club operates like we do. So we take the rent. We don't take any cut from the girls.
No.
So no. So
they just pay rent.
they pay the rent, and the rent it's around $200 for one night or like for one working day. And so that's everything that she pays to us. Like there are no fees. There are like no like anything else, like no tipping. She just pays the rent and the room is yours and she can do whatever she wants.
And this is 24 hours a day or?
No. We are open from 10 a.m. until 6 a.m. So they can stay the whole time, but like nobody does that. So they usually just like choose when they want to come and then they work. And when they feel like, okay, I have enough, then they just go home.
You're closed just for a few hours a day. Just so the cleanup crew can.
Oh, yeah. So when we close 6 a.m. in the morning, like cleaning ladies are there, technicians are there. We need to stock up the bar. We need to like make sure everything is ready. And then like 4 hours later, we are open again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but like we got used to it. So. But like, as I said, so like there are different types of the clubs. And like one is that you take the rent, but like you take the rent like upfront. Which is like, it sounds like a really good system, and like I believe it is. But the reason why some of the women, they don't want to work in the system is that like they don't want to pay to work. So sometimes you have a clubs, and this is like different type of the club, where you go and like you don't pay anything, but then the club takes cut of your earnings. So the worst case scenario, when the club takes cut, is that you will leave a zero. But like with us, and it could happen, is that you will leave and you will be like minus $200 and you were working. So I still believe like this system is good because it doesn't matter if she makes like $3,000, she still pays the $200, or if she makes like $500, she still pays the same. And she also can decide like when she has enough. So if she's fine with like leaving with $500, she can leave, she can go home. If she wants to make like $4,000 a night, it's also on her. But like when you work in a club and the club takes cut of your earnings, like usually the management like wants you to stay longer because like the more you work, the more they make.
So when a guy shows up at the club, what does he see? What does he go through?
So there's a reception. So first you need to go through reception. And you need to buy the tickets there. So the tickets, they are valid for 24 hours and it costs like $20. And so we have this reception. So the guys and the girls who work there, they can actually see like who's entering the club. So normally, like every Friday or Saturday, we have like 500 people, 600 people coming in every day. So it's a lot of people. And like we need to make sure that they are not entering like, and they are not drunk, drugged, or aggressive. So when they will see that the guy is already like, he already had enough, like they will not let him in. So you need to go through reception. And then there's an area with the rooms. So every girl, she has her own room and she can either stay in the front of the room or like usually she sits in the room or like lay down in the room. And the guys, they just like basically walking through the hallways and they see like who is there. And when they like somebody, they just start to talk and yeah,
the girls are already in the rooms.
Oh yeah. So they are in the rooms and they are just like waiting for the customers, or they are talking with each other, or they are just like chilling. And the guys, they are just like basically walking through the hallways. And when they see somebody they fancy, they start to talk. And if she accepts like what he wants to do, and for this amount of money, she let him into the room. And then there's also like the area for the customers. So some of the guys, they go to the brothel and like they don't want to they don't want to use the services, so they are just there to hang out, like to have a drink with the guys. And a lot of the guys, they actually go to the brothel just to chill out with other guys.
And you can go there and not spend money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's completely okay.
It's like a nightclub kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you are not pushed to use the services. There is like no pressure. So if you want to spend there like the whole day, just like sitting and like watching or like walking around, like you can.
So interesting. Do you think it's a better policy to have sex, sex work to be legal?
Yeah, like 100%. I mean,
very...
like I believe that like we own our sexuality, and like the state shouldn't be telling us like you can't do this. I mean, like if somebody wants to have a lot of sex without no money, if somebody wants to have like zero sex, that's on us. And like
it's been legal in your country for how long? Forever?
Not forever. I think last 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. So quite a long time.
And there's no negative repercussions from it?
Well, I mean, like there are definitely conservative people and they're like, no, we should ban this. But like so far it makes sense to make it legal. And like since like a lot of the other states in Europe, they legalize sex work as well. So this is like somewhere we stand. And like I haven't noticed like nobody telling, okay, we should really ban this. I mean, sometimes like some very conservative, but like nobody takes it seriously. So, because like we kind of know that if you will make it legal, then like it will be safer for everyone.
Mm-hmm. You must have some fascinating stories of things that you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a story or two.
So one of my favorite story is that we had a girl and she was working with us, and she was working with us for like so many years. So like eventually we got close, and like she was sharing like parts of her life, and like I knew that she's married, and she was working only on Mondays. And then we had this customer, and he was only coming to the club on Fridays, like not every Friday, but like when he came, he only came on Fridays. And those two people were married to each other, but like they didn't know that the other one like is also involved with the club. So he didn't know that she's a sex worker. She didn't know that that he's our customer, and they actually never met each other. And it was funny because like he was really talkative and like he wanted to share a lot. So when we kind of realized like those two are married to each other, because like we saw the pictures, like she was very, very open about like, so she showed me like the pictures of the husband and like from the holidays. And I was like, oh, it's this guy. And then like, he was very talkative as well. So he was like, yeah, I mean, I have a wife, she's amazing, but like the sex is just not there and those kind of stuff. And then at some point, like she was like, maybe I want to try like Friday nights, because Mondays are usually like slow nights, but like Fridays, there's like a lot of people coming in. So she was like, maybe I want to try like Fridays. And we were like, stick with the Monday. Just stick with the Monday. It will be the best for you. And at some point he was like, maybe like I should start to coming here like different day, like Monday, Tuesday, because there is not too many people. And I'm scared like somebody might recognize me and then like they will tell my wife. And we were like, nope, stay with Friday. It's completely okay. Like we didn't tell them about each other, but like we tried to
steer away from.
Exactly. And like it doesn't have like any endings. Like I don't know like what exactly happened, because like at some point like he stopped to going to our club and then like she quit. But like yeah, I think it's interesting because like you can be married to somebody, like to be living with him for like 20 years and like not know the person at all. I mean, like imagine like they were sleeping next to each other for like so many years, and like they didn't know this like huge part of their life.
Crazy.
Yeah. So you never know what is going on in other people's life.
Are there women who have become like stable financially? They really have changed their lives with sex work?
Definitely. I mean, we have like a lot of women, and they decided to do this for like 5-6 years, and like after this they quit. And actually, like also like one of my closest friends from this industry, like, and she was wild. I mean, she was super wild. And then at some point she was like, okay, well, I earned like a lot of money, and now she's actually one of the best. So she sells houses. So this is what she does, and like she bought those houses and apartments from the money earned in sex work, and now she has an agency.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Are drugs a part of this whole lifestyle?
Not much, but like they are, like in a sex work, like definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, as I said, like we are like kind of privileged place, so most of the women, they don't even drink. So when there are drugs involved, it's like usually the customers bringing the drugs because like they want to try something new. And like a lot of Americans, they do this. So they think that when they are in Europe, like, go to the brothel, get themselves drunk and drugged, it's like the best thing that they can do. So they usually just find somebody on the street, and then they just like buy the drugs there. And like usually like the drugs are not great on the street. It's like, I don't take drugs, but like I think that they are not great on the street. So mostly they just like ended up being like kind of weird because like it wasn't the drug that they kind of thought it was. Once we had a guy, and he took something, and then like he started to think that he's a cat. So at some point he refused to wear like a human clothes. So he just took off his clothes, and he started to like meowing and like licking himself and those kind of stuff. And we needed to call the police because like he even like refused to sit like a normal person. So he was a cat. So we needed to call the police. And then like his friend, he told us like, yeah, he took something that he bought on the street. And we were like, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But like one of the things that like I am really scared of, it's not the drugs, but like a lot of the guys, they take Viagra, but like the Viagra that they take is not prescribed by the doctor for them. They just somehow get it, and then they just take it, and like they don't know like if the heart can handle it. And like once we had a guy, and he was there actually with his son, and they were partying, and I think he was also from America, and he was like 70, something like this. And they were partying, and like all of a sudden, like he just fell to the floor, and the son, he started to like shout, and like he was really scared. So my colleagues went there, and we were like, what happened? And he was like, I don't know, like he just fell to the floor. And like the son, he was like a little bit drunk. So I was like, and at some point, like I came there, and I was like, did he also took something? Because like at some point, like we needed to call an ambulance. So we were calling the ambulance, and I was like, did he took something? Because they were asking about this. And he was like, no, he didn't take anything. And then like at some point he was like, yeah, well, he took a lot of Viagra because like he wanted to perform. And like he was just too old. Like he didn't die, but like we needed to call an ambulance to actually like, save him. So the drugs are like not such a big problem, but like the guys that really want to perform and like take a lot of Viagra, that's a problem.
Fascinating life you're leading. Katrin, tell me one last question. What would you say is the most important thing you've learned in your 9 years doing sex work or working as a manager?
Well, I definitely learned that it's really important to give sex workers a voice. And this is also the reason why I do my PhD and I focus on a sex work, because there is like way too many people still having their opinions on sex work based on just feelings. But like when you actually hear the stories from the sex workers, like that's the real like data, and this is like what you should be listening, not like people that don't know anything about the industry, and then they go to parliament or like conferences and they're like, oh, sex work is this and sex work is that. I mean, I always ask the people, okay, like with how many sex workers did you actually speak? It's like, where did you get your opinion from? And like most of the people, they are not even like willing to listen to sex workers. So yeah, I think this is what I've learned.
Yeah, I think that's great. Thank you so much, Katrin. I wish
Thank
you
you
all kinds of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
When I was designing the first Soft White Underbelly book, I realized that there were so many great portraits that weren't going to make it into that book. They just wouldn't fit. And once I saw how well that first book sold, I knew I'd have to design a second book. This second book is finally ready to ship. Like the first one, this book has a collection of some of the best portraits from Soft White Underbelly, accompanied by a quote from that person's interview. This book features another group of Rebecca portraits, as well as a collection of color images of the Whitaker family, and plenty of others. You can order yours for $125 or $150 for a signed copy at softwhiteunderbelly.org. Again, like the first book, once this book is sold out, I will not be printing more of them. The portraits are what Soft White Underbelly is all about, and these two books contain the best of all that work. Thank you for watching.